Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning.
A podcast where we share with you great insights about everything family from over 30 years of parenting 7 kids and over a decade of equipping parents through our Crazy Cool Family ministry.
So let us inspire and equip you to build your best family.
Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Hey. Hi, Suze.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey, let's talk about parenting. We've never done that before.
That's right. Hey, you'd think this was a parenting podcast or something. And the more we talk about parenting, hey, we are in this series, though, called How Do You Crazy Cool Parent That? So we've been talking about a lot of different relational issues and just so many things that I've loved this season. And it's really kind of an interesting season for us because we are graduating the 7th and last Manning kid from high school.
And so while that does seem that we are wrapping up parenting, reality is that adult children also need to be parented, not at the same level that, say, a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old and a teenager needs to be parented. But parenting does still continue for those of you that think that there is a break at the end. But it is going to be radically different when we don't have anyone living under our roof.
33 years. We got married, brought a 2-year-old. You brought a 2-year-old to the marriage.
Yeah, we were parents before we were husband and wife.
We've been doing this for almost 34 years, and then we will have an empty house. So we've really been reflecting on, and I would add to it that we've been reflecting, but also we have 8 grandkids that are 6 to 1.
Someone said once that if you time it right, then you will never have an empty nest. That you, as your youngest children are leaving, then your older children have had children, and we definitely did that. We had a pretty big overlap.
Yeah,
it felt like
it's been about 6 years.
Yeah,
and if you take
all 3 boys have left in those 6 years.
Yeah, and if you take marriage, it's been about 8 or 9 years since the first one got married or whatever, but. So really, it's put us in this season of reflecting on, 33 years, almost 34 years of parenting, and so many things God showed us, and that's why we have a ministry where it is, but also things that we wish we would have done differently and how we learned. And, obviously our heart in this podcast is to help parents along their journey, along your journey. And so we're always analyzing and trying to improve on how we can implement, how we can help parents. But because, we just made there's so many things that we were talking the other day, Suzanne, about we always do our parenting in decades. And so, we're in the middle of our 4th decade of parenting right now. And so like at the end of the first decade, I just remember that I came to we had 4 daughters. So
this is something you wish you'd done differently. Is that what you're saying, or not necessarily? It's just a reflecting back of, and I look back on that, I see this.
Reflecting back on the journey that we've had, from my perspective, it was like there was an epiphany that, probably year 8, 9, 10. And I'm like, I've got 4, there's 5, guys, help me here. There's me and 5 women in my house. There's so much estrogen. Is that what I would say? Not testosterone, it's estrogen.
Probably minus lack of. They were probably sucking all the testosterone out of you, poor man.
Well, and I just realized that so many reasons that I didn't know what I was doing. There was relationally, it was hard, that I didn't understand these girls, and it's funny. The first few years I thought, I'm probably a better parent than Suzanne. I know what's going on. I'm more disciplined or whatever it is. But I just found out that it wasn't about being better or worse. It was that I needed to learn. There was so much that I needed to learn.
Well, I think that it was pretty amazing that right out of the chute, Don had the opportunity to be highly relational with 5 women, and so he had an opportunity to connect with his little girls in a way that's very hard for a man who has never been around children before to do. And so for you, I think that it was a great learning curve. for me, as I look back at that first decade with 4 little girls, I just remember thinking that there was so much that I needed to grow myself. I needed to mature. I needed to be healthy. I needed to not be angry. I needed to be a parent that would respond in the situations and not react. And I remember us thinking we need parenting help. And us reading parenting books. I mean,
going to seminars.
Yes, dozens of parenting books.
This was before the internet.
Yes, taking parenting classes at our church. I mean, and so we realized that you realize there's a relational gap, if you will, in connecting with your daughters. I realized I wasn't responding well to them, and we needed some input.
Well, what was hard for me is I was I'm a businessman. I've played sports. I've competed in a lot of different things, and so there's a certain way to win in life, and that I had in my brain. There was a certain way to win in life, in sports and business, with and just life in general,
with other men,
with school. well, not just with other men, but with school, like how to conquer school, how to conquer grades and everything. And then I went into family, and it's like, none of the rules apply. I mean, not just girls, but I mean just in family in general, because it's super relational and it's super, it's
feely and interactive.
Well, and you have so much influence over these little bodies that you're responsible for.
Yeah.
And I just realized, I remember going, man, I don't know how to win this game.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules. I don't know the concepts that I need to learn. And so, therefore, what I tell men a lot, I in the last, few months, I've spoken at a bunch of men's conferences, and I tell them the same thing. It's like, I just decided to go on a quest. And that quest was to be a learner. I said, okay, the game is hard. The game is confusing.
Unknown.
Yeah, the game's confusing. Let's figure it out. And God's got something to say about it. It was also confusing to me because the Bible doesn't really talk a lot about family. I couldn't just go to the Bible and say, oh, well, in Isaiah it says this, or in the 1 John 4. It's really kind of, because I think that, and I think there's reasons for that. God calls himself our Father. There's so many things that we could talk about with that, but it was really, the nuggets were hard to glean out. And so, it took a little bit more to study it than I thought.
Well, and I think you were also, which I think is very interesting because of the personality that you have, is you were looking for the rules, you were looking for the plays, you were looking for the standards and the 1, 2, 3. Just tell me 1, 2, 3. And I'm wired that way a little bit too. Just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And relationships are nothing like that. Relationships unfold and they progress and they happen with each and every interaction, and you can't predict, and you don't have necessarily a reason why it's going to happen. You just have an influence and a response.
And these children, they get older every year.
And then they change, right?
Yeah,
so what's working last year doesn't work this year.
Yeah, I mean, and so it was a very odd game. But the cool deal, and what I feel like the Lord showed us is that he said, hey, this is important. One thing he did say that was, that I think that he said, don't be distracted from the most important thing you're going to do in your life. It's more important than making money. It's more important than the ministry you're going to do. It's more important than anything. Not that those things aren't important, but this is and it does take time, effort, and energy to do it well. And I think we started to turn that, and we did find out, that's another thing I tell men a lot, is that I found out that the secrets to success in family were different than I thought. I thought I was supposed to instruct them, and that is part of it, but really I was supposed to connect with them.
Right.
And that the more I connected, and the less, and actually deeper connection made my instruction go further with less instruction. And there's, all the things we teach at Crazy Cool Family, but that was a revelation for me. And it was almost like, and also about that time you were talking about going through your own spiritual development. Well, I was being introduced to grace, and I was being introduced that, what if God just loves me? What if he loves me because he created me, not because of how I'm performing? And then I thought, well, if God loves me like that, And I think you and I know you and I talked about that. It's like, what if we love our kids like that?
Right.
What if we don't get so, and it was actually pretty radical at the time when we were doing it, because, most parents we were around were all about protection, all about, the performance of their kids, all about their kids not embarrassing, all about first time obedience. Again, all great concepts, but it was like, what if we focused more on the connection versus the performance, and what would happen?
Yeah, and so I remember like us going through all of our different classes and getting us our revelations and our children growing up along the way. And I remember you saying something like, I just wish someone had wrote us a playbook to give us all the answers in parenting, instead of us having to take it all and create it and mash it together. And so anyway, all that to say is that's what we've kind of tried to do here at Crazy Cool Family, is we try to create, to take everything that we've been taught and shown and everything we've experienced over our 3 decades of parenting and create a product for you that is like a playbook.
Well, and
like a code.
Fast forward to today. I mean, Crazy Cool Family, we've been doing this for probably about 10 years. Started out with our church and then just expanded on. We wrote a book, and now we talk. Now we go all over the country and talk to parents and everything. And, and technology has become more and more prevalent, as we know, and the issues and the culture and everything. And so we just find that today that playbook is more important than ever. I mean, honestly, man, when we were doing parenting, the bulk of our parenting, it was easier than it was for you guys right now. Mm-hmm. And I mean,
and we hear that from parents all the time. I mean, I don't know where you listener are right now, but so many times parents are like, it's so hard raising kids in today's day and age. I can't protect them from what the world's throwing at them. The relationships and the immorality and the experiences that they're even being exposed to, I cannot even begin to, I don't even know how to respond. And I, once again, can't protect them.
And so it's still the most important job you're going to do, just like us. But even then, when parents are going out for information, we have more parenting information out there than ever before.
And at our fingertips, we don't have to go to you guys don't have to go to a class and sit in the cafeteria of the bathroom of the church anymore. You don't have to go to conferences. You can, but you don't. You literally can Google it, YouTube, any question that you have.
But the problem is now, what I find parents telling me is, I don't know what to believe.
Well, and
I don't know who to trust.
Yes, and not only that, but it's an answer to a question. It's not interaction in a relationship, and that's what needs to happen. It needs to have information that's speaking literally into your connections and your relationships, not into your problems. It's not about the problem. It's about the relationship. And now the problem is the red flag, and that's what we pay attention to. But at Crazy Cool Family, we don't even really talk about the problems. We want to go way beyond the problems, and we want to get to the core, the root of what's at the bottom of the relationship. How do you invest and connect and love in those relationships so that you really never even have the problem that's the red flag?
Yeah, and so, but yet we also have people coming to us and saying, hey, I have this problem, and we want to be, what Suzanne's saying there is that we want to address your problem, but the problem's going to have a solution that's not a quick fix. It's going to be a concept you need to learn. For example, you may have problems with your child being angry with you. Well, the problem may come down to you're not listening to them. Mm-hmm. It may be that you learn, and so you're like, well, okay, I'll listen. But then that becomes this skill that gets developed over time. And what I find today, just like I was 30 years ago, parents today, and they didn't have it then too, I think they don't have the skill sets that are needed to tackle the job that is in front of them. But the great news about it is that everything that's needed by that parent is learnable. It's teachable.
Okay. You just hit on something, and I just want to blow it up a little bit. And so you just said,
blow it up, Suzanne. Come on.
You just said it like at Crazy Cool Family, the problem is there, but what we do is we go to a concept. So powerful. And so you said, let's say the concept is listening. So let's say you have a 2-year-old that's throwing a fit, and then and you still don't listen to them. So then they go into a middle, which we say, and they start lying and hiding. They're lying about their grades or their whatever because you're not listening to them, which then turns into a teenager, which is rebelling because you're not listening to them. So you apply that concept. Let's go back to that toddler that's throwing a fit and you're listening to them. All of a sudden you become safe. So now they don't have to lie or hide their bad grades from you because you're listening to them and you're safe. They don't have to rebel as a teenager because they know they can talk to you because you're safe. And so that's what we try to do at Crazy Cool Family is once again, all of the input that we've had along the way and the experiences and all of our failures that we have chalked up from and learned from, we've found that the concepts that are at the core, if we can go after those, then that's what makes our relationship strong.
And going back to what you said a few minutes ago about the playbook, you said, that we wish someone would have just written us a playbook,
with all those concepts,
with everything that we need to focus on in a package that is, fits our busy lives. It's not easy to learn, but it is summarized in a way that's effective for us to learn.
Maybe.
Yeah, simplified and clear, and all those things. Well. So, and we've done that. We have all kinds of resources. We have our book and our guides and everything. It's on our website. But, we also realized how busy everyone was and everyone is. And early last year, 2024, yes, because this is 2025 right now, someone suggested, actually at the end of 2023, that we start a daily email. And, because that's another thing about parenting is that we learn it over time. It's very difficult. We have a lot of people that come to our seminars and things like that. Very difficult. They come out, what I would call drinking out of a fire hose because it's too much information. They take a couple of nuggets and they take it. But we thought, what if we could drip it into you over time? And somebody said, hey, why don't you start a daily email? And daily emails, we couldn't do it on Facebook or Instagram because we don't control those algorithms. But
yeah, and they wouldn't show them to the people we wanted to see them.
Exactly. So
we needed to be personal into your inbox.
So we started a daily email thinking, okay, let's see if it works. And oh my goodness, we have just seen it work so well. I mean, used to people would come to us and say, hey, love your podcast. Now they come to us and say, I read your daily email every other day at least, because, and all it is, if you're not subscribed to it, you can go to our website and get on it. It is a 1 to 2 minute.
crazycoolfamily.com is our website.
Yeah. And 1 to 2 minute, just a little encouraging or some kind of note. I mean,
practical parenting. That's what they've just titled it. So, because it's super practical. It's super to the point. It is encouraging. It is inspiring. And any group of moms that I get in front of, I make them stop, pull out their phone and sign up for it right then and there because I don't know what your inbox looks like, if it's full of a whole bunch of stuff, but a lot of the stuff that's in my inbox is not encouraging and empowering. It's wanting from me. And this is not wanting from you. This is giving to you. Yeah. This is blessing you. This is giving you the oomph that you need to get through the day in parenting successfully.
And quick. We knew that, that if you're not going to read a 15-minute email every day, and so, but we just found great success in that. We send it to thousands of people all over the country now, and so this year, as we went into 2025, we said, okay, that's working, but
we're daily dripping. What can we do? What can we do now?
But it was also kind of scattered, I would say, because when we wrote it, it was just kind of random thoughts about parenting, and various people, Crazy Cool Family wrote most of them. And so we thought, how can we take that audience and expand it and really do it better and still make it free? And so starting in May, we want to introduce to you that we're going to introduce a new kind of an expanded daily email, still with the same idea, quick, to the point, but we're just going to and free. It's all going to be free, and it's going to be where we package our resources together. And instead of practical parenting and just one little blurb and a podcast over here, we're going to bring it all together in a concept we're calling the Playbook. And so we're super excited.
John's been dying to use that term for forever. He's so excited. He goes, I've done it. I've wrapped it all up, all the things in the playbook that I wanted back in 1910 when I started parenting. I get to now present to this generation of parents.
Yes, as a playbook. And really, what is the playbook? It is a set of free resources.
Right.
And so let's think about that.
It's made up of.
That's delivered through the daily email. Still delivered through the daily email. All we're doing is taking the daily email and we're kind of expanding it just a little bit. It's still going to be a quick read, but here's how it's going to work. Is number one, you'll still have the daily email and the daily blurb. Many days it'll still be the same thing.
Right.
It'll be we're going to call that piece of it the daily practice. So again, 1 to 2 minutes, quick blurb, everything we've always done. Then the second, but the real addition to the daily email is something we're going to go a little bit deeper, 1 day a week, and we're going to call that the weekly huddle. Get it? Playbook, practice huddle, guys, sports. Come on.
Yeah, my coaching husband is just thrilled about the terminology.
Exactly. And so we're going to, and once a week on Sundays, we're going to release a weekly huddle. And it's just, again, it's instead of 1 to 2 minutes, we're going to be maybe 5 to 8 minutes on one topic, let's say, and it's going to be, again, topical, because we're going to address the issues that affect you as parents.
Right.
Our guides and book and everything are very conceptual, but this is still, parents have asked us to address key issues that are troubling them and
technology.
Help them.
I mean, I can just, you know your key issues. And so that's what we're going after.
And help them to, through those issues, get to the concepts they need to know, which we will. And also we're going to kind of coordinate things a little better to where the daily things we do tie in more to the weekly huddle. Also, our podcast will be a little bit more, we've kind of done it a little bit haphazardly.
And that's what makes the teacher in me so happy, is instead of having, we're talking about, kids not getting along, we're talking about grades, and then on the podcast, we're talking about the holidays. And so it all being different, I'm loving that we're kind of syncing it up. And so that each week you'll have an opportunity to be exposed to a topic several different times.
Yeah. Because that's how we learn, and
Yes.
and you may see that email. I mean, not many people read that email every day. So I mean, and we don't want it to be that way. We want it to be where you could read it.
I've actually had a couple of people say I've read it every single day. I've
true.
not missed one day. So,
yeah. But
if
most
that's
people
you,
don't.
yay! Check plus smiley face for you.
But
if you miss a day, it's okay. There's grace for that. But yay, if you're reading it every day.
And if you are not reading it every day, then you can still get something out of it and still get that concept dripped into you.
And let's say that you miss. So we're saying that you've got your daily drip, if you will. And now this new thing that we've got coming on Sunday is going to be, what I call action packed, filled full. Like let's say Monday through Saturday, you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but on Sunday you have a turkey, bacon, avocado. You've got everything kind of sandwich. That's what the email is going to look like on Sunday. And so let's say that your Sunday's crazy busy and you can't get to it. Guess what? It's sitting in your inbox. You can go right back and pick it up and look at it and see where what the Lord has to say to you. And that's what I think is so amazing about the daily email. And I've heard it from so many different parents is they've said, that's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
That's God used your email to help me figure out, see, or do this differently. And so we're just believing that the topics that we're going to be putting out, that we're investing in, they're going to bless you.
Well, and then so to round out the week, every day you get a daily practice, it'll give you a reference to that weekly huddle. And so even though it may be Tuesday and you haven't done the weekly huddle yet because you didn't see it or whatever, then on Tuesday you can go, oh wow, I'm going to reference that back. It'll be just a click in your email. You can go to that weekly huddle, and then also we'll have an introduction. We've been doing this in the past, but in our daily email. But one day will be just the introduction of the podcast, and we'll be talking about the podcast and what we're doing that week. And so again, The Playbook. The Playbook is a daily email, still a daily email. Practical Parenting becomes the Playbook. And it's a set of free resources for you that's designed to further drip the right, to answer your questions about issues with the concepts you need to learn in order to be your best parent. And then finally, the last thing I'll say about the Playbook itself is, and then out of the Playbook, again, all that's free. We will then direct you to some new and some existing free resources and some existing resources, not free, but like our books and things like that. But also, we're going to introduce one more thing called a deep dive. And it's going to take that topic and go deeper. It'll be a purchasable PDF that will be just next level. We've already started to create them. We are really excited about launching those.
Yeah, and so what I am so excited about those is, well, first of all, I've done these PDFs before, these purchasable PDFs through an artist that I follow, and there's a couple health people that I follow, and that they've got information, and I think I want that information. I want to have that. They've done the research. They've gone deep. They've done what it takes to give me the information that I want. And so I'm willing to go do that. And so we're super excited to be able to give that to you, to gather all the information that we have and then other information. And what I love about it is that we have recruited two of our daughters, Madeline and Mackenzie, to help us. And they have got... It blows me away. The gifts that they have and the ideas that they have, and they're living it. They're right there with you in parenting.
And they're already trained Crazy Cool Family people.
Yes, yeah, they're first generation Crazy Cool Family.
They've been immersed in it for many years.
Yes, and so I'm so excited to what they are going to present to you and what they are going to give you in these purchasable deep dives.
Well, and so we know that's a lot of information right now. So just think of it, though. Let us summarize a little bit, and in case you've been, doing the dishes while you're listening or whatever. Just no change, first of all, to the delivery. You're still going to get a daily email. Now, there's not a new email. There's not anything new about it in terms of just still going to get one email from us a day. The only thing that's changing is we're expanding, we're kind of coordinating everything and then expanding it, our teaching, our set of free resources is expanding. We'll still have our podcast and we'll introduce that through our daily email, but we're also introducing the weekly huddle, which is going to be just a deeper version of a topic that we're talking about. It will then alert you to some new paid resources as well as the old ones we've already had and we've already been doing. And we are super excited. It comes out May 4th. That Sunday, May 4th, will be the launch of the Playbook. So if you know anybody, this is the time, a great time to, if you know any other parents that are not in our email system, just tell them to go try it out. Tell them to try it out for the month of May. Go to the website, sign up for our email. Just see what this is. Suzanne and I mean, we are just super excited about offering this to you. And we feel like it's the same material we've been teaching. That doesn't change. What changes is the way we deliver it to you in an easier format, in a more convenient format, in an easier to digest format, an easier to learn format, and just making it affordable and everything for you. So, the blessing of family requires that we learn some things that God wants to show you as a parent about parenting. The daily email we do, the Playbook is a start to that. Crazy Cool Family, our whole ministry is about that. Let us help you. And as always, go be crazy parents, crazycoolfamily.com.